Hi there, it's Leanne from You Can Paint with Leanne, and I am painting a door hanger for my mom. It is going to be a fun design that she requested for Mother's Day. So on the other side, I have this. It's an oval piece of wood. So for my mom, I'm doing it double-sided. I'm gonna drill some holes up here and put some wire or rope through it. So she requested a two-sided door hanger. So this is the other side. And I did a technique on here with a sponge, household sponge, really easy to do. I am painting on top of my washer and dryer because I have a lot of room and it's very bright and I love it. So I painted the base coat on already. I'm gonna do sort of a wreath of sunflowers, and then in the middle I am going to say, bless my garden. That's my plan. So I'm going to be doing sunflowers about the size of the palm of my hand. So I'll probably need 8 or so around here with some leaves and vines. So stay tuned for some more. Alrighty, so now we're ready to do the centers of my sunflowers, and I've decided I'm going to do 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and about the size of the palm of my hand. All right, so the centers don't have to be that big. I'm going to dip half brown and a little bit of black into my scruffy brush. This is a scruffy brush and it's a pouncing brush. So you just pounce it on like that and you work it in and the paint goes inside the brush pretty good. It gets pretty goopy, but if it gets too goopy, just dab it off. So I'm gonna do some ovals here, and in the center is where you have the black. So I'm gonna do a couple and then I'll have the placement. One. I'm gonna do a couple and then I'm gonna paint right away because I like the petals, how they come out of the wet paint. All right. So now I'm gonna use my flat 12. I always use flat brushes. And I have primary yellow and saffron yellow here. And I'm gonna blend those two together. So how I do that is I put half in the saffron and half in the primary and blend it on my page. You can't really see the difference, but it's there. I don't know, I might put some white in there to lighten up this yellow. All right, so now I'm just gonna do a one stroke coming out of the middle of the sunflower. It's basically a leaf stroke and it's gonna carry some of the brown with it, which I love. I'm just pushing, turning, and lifting. Push, turn, lift, push, turn, lift. Now I'm gonna go back for more paint. I'm liking this combo a little bit better than the other yellow. So it's nice because it picks up the brown. And I'm liking the size of this sunflower. It's a good size. I've got quite a bit of paint on my brush. So you're just gonna go around here. All right, so that's the basis of my sunflower. Now, I don't like these edges right here, so I'm just gonna pounce over this again. I still have my brush loaded, and I'm gonna go around and do my circle again. So it looks like the petals are buried. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. Looks like little seeds, right? Okay, so I'm going to continue doing that all the way around and come back to you in a bit. All right, now I have my sunflowers all painted. I ended up doing more than I thought, but they're cute and little. I didn't want them too big because I do want room for leaves and my letters. So there you go for that. Now we're going to do some vines. I have, I think it's Hauser green, a light Hauser green here. I'm gonna put half of that and half of the primary yellow on my brush and blend it together. I thought this was a nice combo. It's actually pretty. I blend it on here, get quite a bit on my brush. I want quite a bit more green there. And I might add a bit of white to lighten it up. So I've got quite a bit of paint on there. And I'm going to do a little bit of a vine around and then put some leaves in. So let's start over here. Usually go left to right, so let's try that. Now I'm on the chisel end of my brush. So that means that I'm on the thin edge and I am dragging my dominant color. D for drag, D for dominant. That's how I remember. It's easy to get confused. I could drag the yellow, but I want the green to show up more than the yellow. So that's what I drag. So I'm just doing a continuous vine here. Not much thought really in this. I'm just sort of going. Making it a little bit fun, like a S shape. This is a short one, so that one will just be right here. Small little short one. A little bit too much yellow in it, that one. This one will join. And this one. Goodness me. There we go. And this one we will join. Okay, so we have all of our flowers connected. I don't want it to look too symmetrical, I don't think. So we're gonna do a couple of vines coming off of these vines. The trick of this is to do it overlapping. So we'll do that in a second. So now we're gonna do some vines that are intertwining among these main vines. So the trick to this is to go up and over and to bring it in. So I'm gonna go up, over, and we're gonna just let them trail out. I need more paint. Ooh, I got some black on there, that's not good. I need a new area to blend, there we go. All right, so it's gonna go up and over. This one, put it beside. Adding more paint. I'm not sure if we need one here, but we'll put a little one off to the side. This one will come down. And I'm having to move this around so I get the right angle. And this one will come down also. All right, so there's all of our fun vines. Next, we will work on our main leaves, our bigger leaves. They are also green and yellow, so I will load up my brush and get it ready to go with the green and yellow and a little bit of white in there. My brush is very loaded. So we're gonna come off of these flowers and have some big leaves everywhere. I'm gonna probably have to turn my board for this, but I do wanna leave enough room for birds in here. I can get carried away with leaves, so we'll do one and see how it goes here. You can overlap anything that you've done. And always pull a stem through. I'll do a couple more and go around, and then we will come back and do the rest. All right, we're gonna go this way. Loading up with paint. This one's gonna come right in like that. Right in. Okay, so I'm gonna continue around and do a bunch more big leaves like that around the other sunflowers. Excellent. So we did a lot of the big leaves around the whole perimeter. All right, looks pretty nice. Now we're gonna do some of the smaller leaves. we're gonna put the smaller leaves around the big leaves. We're gonna keep the same colors on our brush, but these don't have a wiggle. They are just one stroke simple leaves. So we're gonna load up with green and yellow and a little bit of white, and we're gonna fill in a little bit of foliage here. And sometimes I go right over the vine or the flower, which is fine. I can usually do 5 or 6 leaves with one load of paint. And we're going to bring some into the center also. All right, so we're just sort of following the vine. And I don't usually pay attention to my highlights or anything like that, like the yellow being on top or anything. I just sort of go as I feel. I try and do them in 3s. I find that 2s look funny, but depends where I am on the page or the board or whatever I'm painting on. So yeah, that looks okay with 2. Move that one over again. I'll put it over here. This one I think is gonna be fun right here. I'm gonna do 3 coming down. I like that one. So I did about 6 leaves there with one load, which is good. I'm not really using too much paint with this. It's just a light touch. And I'm doing them all different directions. My stems are not going in properly. So this is a fun way to fill in a project, these fun little leaves. And you could get carried away with them. I sometimes do. I'm doing right in there. There we go. This one needs 5. There. All right, gonna load up my brush. And be almost finished with these. Sometimes I lose my edge. Can you guys see that? Sorry. This is a pretty big oval. I'd say it's almost, let's see, 20, 23 inches. So it's a lot of room to paint you need. Paint. I'll do a couple up here. All right, very fun. So we're gonna come back and do a couple curlicues and then we're done. Then we can do our words. So I'll be back and do some curlicues. Okay, curlicues are fun. You have to do them with a script liner, which is a very thin brush, and you have to add water. Water into your paint. So you dip into your water and you mix it into a little bit of paint and roll it out. It's got to be an inky consistency to get a nice flow for these curlicues. And you're going to work just on the tip of this brush. So I just have solid green in here, inky consistency, and I'm gonna do a curlicue motion. And yes, you can get carried away with these, but I'm gonna do a couple and see how they look. And sometimes I go right over the flowers with these, which is fine. So there's no real plan. And the trick is to go different directions. You probably can't even see these that good. crazy. It's just lightening it up a little bit, even though they're not, you don't want them to be really dominant. You want them to just peek out. I don't really have a plan in my head with these. I just sort of go. And sometimes you run out of paint, but it looks cool. And you go different directions. And one more up here. And one here. All right. Pretty fun. So that's a simple way to do a very effective sign in sunflowers. And I'm going to put a saying in the middle, bless my garden. And I'll show you the finished project when I'm done.